I actually had a question.
Great.
Just about recommendation for taking a puppy on a flight.
Okay.
Have one tomorrow, and so just reducing stress, whatever.
Sure.
Recommendations.
Sure. So how old is the puppy?
10 and a half weeks.
Okay. Generally at 10 and a half weeks, we'll either use just Adaptil, which is a pheromone.
Yep.
It comes as a collar, it comes as a spray.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can add some gabapentin if you think the puppy is going to be particularly stressed.
Okay.
Now, a lot of our puppies have ridden in the car
Yeah.
dozens of times by the time that they leave our home.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends a little bit on their experience. If they have not ridden in the car a lot, or when they have been in the car they've been anxious, whiny, crying, that kind of thing, then I would do gabapentin. And gabapentin is really safe even on really young puppies.
Yeah.
So you can administer gabapentin 8 hours before and 2 hours before the trip.
Okay.
And then the puppy's usually a little bit more relaxed, tends to sleep. Now, most of the time when I've flown with puppies, I've flown with puppies multiple times, and I've flown with kittens. I actually brought 2 kittens back from Europe. So we have just put them in the carrier and not had to do anything extra.
Yeah. Of course, the one that I haven't, that I'm shipping, or I'm bringing him, but he's the more voiceful one out of the bunch. I'm like,
yeah. Then gabapentin might be a good idea because you want him to be not offensive to other people on the flight.
Right.
It's like that crying baby.
Yeah.
When you get on the plane, you look around, you're like, oh no.
He might be fine with me, but I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
Of the.
I had that kind of fear too, because I did ship a couple of mine, or they came and they were going to be on a plane from Minnesota to New Jersey.
Yeah.
I just started practicing. They sent me stuff, so I put the puppy in that carrier it was going to be in.
Right.
And I just kept doing that and trying to get it acclimated to the carrier. Right. And they said she was amazing.
Right, but tomorrow doesn't give you a lot of time.
No, it doesn't. But I've kennel trained him at night, so he's used to a smaller, space.
He might be surprised.
And it'll be me with him, so,
So take a couple extra potty pads.
Okay,
and if he gets whiny, do you know
Yeah.
this trick to take him into the bathroom on the plane?
Okay.
Have a potty pad in the bottom and take some spare ones.
Okay.
And then if he gets whiny and you think it's because he has to go potty, take him into the restroom with you.
Yeah.
Put a potty pad on the floor, straddle him.
Yeah.
Because those rooms aren't very big.
Yeah, I know.
Put him on the floor, let him urinate, or
Yeah.
have a stool, whatever he needs to do. Roll it up, put it down the chute, and then go back to your seat. And usually that'll help them to calm down. Because sometimes they're just antsy because they don't want to make a mess in the carrier.
Right.
Take his favorite toy to sleep with. If you've got a shirt or a towel that mom has been
I have a
with.
blanket that he's been sleeping with
Good.
that I was going to put in there.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Don't wash it. Take it the way it smells.
Right. Yeah.
So just make sure that you make him as comfortable as you can be. And then, of course, take a bowl for food and a bowl for water if you need it. Always take some food because you never know when you're going to get caught in a delay.
Right, yeah.
So take food.
You have to, actually. Excuse me. You have to take food.
Well, it depends on whether they're flying cargo or not. So...
Or you don't have to take food if you're flying with them?
They don't check you if they're flying on the plane with you. They do
But
check
if
them
you have a
they're flying
layover
cargo.
and something happens or whatever,
If they're flying cargo, they give you a list of things you have to have. And I usually take an extra leash. Just take a few extra things because you just never know what's going to happen.
For sure. Okay.
Take extra potty pads. They're easy to pack. They're lightweight.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay.
And most puppies, once they get on the plane, in my experience, the puppies I've flown with have been really good on the plane.
Yeah.
I think the hum of the plane, the vibration, all that stuff, they just kind of fall asleep.
Yeah.
And they do a pretty good job. But you don't
I've
want to be
flown with
offensive.
3 of them before, and they've all done fine, but I'm just nervous on him because he's super
generally,
noisy.
dogs do really well.
They do.
Shipping-wise.
And the kittens we took did really well, too. But there were 2 of them. And as soon as we got to the airport, they said, put them in the same carrier. We had 2 carriers because that's what they told us we had to have for the airlines, but they had us combine them into one carrier, and they were a lot happier to go
For sure.
than they would have been separately. But take his favorite toy, and take something that smells like him, and potty pads are lightweight; they're easy to take extras of. You can never have too many potty pads.
Yeah.
Because you just never know.
And they're easy take
Yeah,
or
and
bring with.
Probably
Okay.
one of those little packages of baby wipes just in case.
I have those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I have a snuggle puppy that he's been sleeping with too,
Yeah.
but I don't think he and the snuggle puppy will fit in this carrier underneath because it's a
Does it have one of the
smaller plane.
one of the heartbeats in the snuggle puppy?
Mm-hmm.
Can you take that out? Is it in a pouch?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Because you might be able to just take that out and put it in the
Yeah.
carrier.
Put it in
underneath
the
potty
blanket or
carrier.
whatever.
Yeah,
That's
so
a
he
really
can
good
feel
idea.
it.
Right.
Even if it's not
Okay.
the puppy itself,
Right.
that sensation is still there.
For sure. Okay.
That's a really good idea.
If I did the gabapentin, what would the amount be?
Well, the
'Cause I
dose
think
is
they're-
10 to 20 milligrams per kilogram. So,
Okay.
have we seen the puppy here?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the docs can calculate that for you if you want to go back over before you leave today. They can calculate a dose. It comes as a liquid and as a capsule. So if he's too small for 100 milligrams,
Yeah.
then we can get you the liquid and then you can just administer that.
Okay.
So it's an easy way to just keep him quiet and calm. And
Yeah.
I don't think
I was
you.
gonna
I
say,
don't
I haven't
think.
had any
I don't think
issues
you mentioned
before,
that
but-
either. When they ask, don't
Right, yeah.
mention that. My
Right.
dog has had no drugs.
Right, and AVMA used to tell us not to sedate dogs before they traveled because they felt that it was going to make them harder for them to adjust to the surroundings and the temperatures and things like that. But that's before we used some of the better drugs that we're using now, like gabapentin.
Mhm.
People used to use acepromazine a lot.
But I think they didn't have them in the heated and air conditioned
Right.
climate, and they
Right.
got down in the.
Right, when they were in cargo, it was a whole different thing. But when they're in the seat, it's somewhat different. But acepromazine is not an anti-anxiety drug. Acepromazine basically paralyzes the dog. So all you would do was make them lay flat and be afraid, but unable to move.
And then they would be down there in that cold.
Yeah, it was not a good drug for us to be using. But that's 40 years ago. That's what we had. We didn't have some of these other drugs. So now that we have gabapentin, and it's pretty widely used, it works really nicely on puppies. I wouldn't use trazodone on a baby, but I would use gabapentin. And in fact, sometimes we'll see dogs coming in from the emergency clinic and referral centers if they're really young puppies and they've been injured somehow. The gabapentin is much safer as a pain medication than some of the non-steroidals in very young puppies that don't have full renal and liver development yet. So gabapentin is pretty universally considered to be safe for
I've heard that.
sedation,
but,
for
yeah.
pain, for a lot of those things. So I think GABA is a pretty good choice for you. In some states, GABA is a controlled substance. Here in Wisconsin, it's not. And as long as one of my doctors has seen the puppy, then we can get some medication for you.